here we are, first episode of Live with Marie and Dan. That's Dan, I'm Marie. I'm otherwise known to many of you as a romance author. And my husband, many of you already know from the Friday Night Lights, well, not Friday Night Lights, but Follies, and the antics on the dance floor at Reader Weekend. All I have to do to say to many of you is YMCA. We'll provide some footage of that for you at some point. But this is our first episode of what we're calling Live with Marie and Dan. And we spent last week together traveling through West Texas, and we came up with this idea of how funny would it be to put some of our family funnies on YouTube. So here we are. So we actually have a lot of inane conversations on a daily basis, right? Many.
Most.
Yeah, most, okay. So I've been joking that I went to Texas, put your glasses on, I went to Texas, and I came home with Rick Perry. What do we think? Similar? Close? Whatever? Yes. Okay, Governor. Thank you for being here with us today. While we were in Texas, I also took this picture of Dan, who was trying on one of his 10-gallon hats. He tried on many of them, but alas, did not come home with one. So what did you say that this picture shows your what? Attitude?
Yeah, I guess.
Yes, because I was more impressed by the facial expression than I almost even was of the hat, because like really, he's looking pretty severe there, like almost like a Texas Ranger, if you would. Yes.
I could probably do that.
Yeah, you could be a Texas Ranger, you think so? So I also want to mention, while we're talking about Texas, I'm missing one of my papers here. While we're talking about Texas, we had a, oh, there it is. Yeah, I'm looking for them.
Wrong.
Yeah, wrong pile.
Do you have my stack?
No, you have my stack. So I've been wanted to send a shout out to the people of Texas, Florida, the Caribbean, who have been through such an awful ordeal after Hurricane Irma.
And Harvey.
And Harvey, yes. Yes, thank you for reminding me of Harvey too. I feel bad for the people of Texas because Harvey almost got overlooked because then in comes Irma a week later. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people are talking about where to donate, and we're going to donate to the One America appeal championed by the 5 former U.S. presidents, because we feel like that's a good place where 100% of the donations are going to the actual victims. The admin is being run through the original first President Bush's presidential library.
HW.
And so, yes, HW. And so all of the admin is being absorbed by his library. So go to oneamericaappeal.org to donate today. There is a lot of need, especially in the Caribbean, which the U.S. is definitely doing a lot to support. But speaking of Harvey and Irma, I found this article in the New York Times last week about this couple. Aren't they so cute? That's Harvey and Irma, and their last name is Schluter. They've been married for 75 years. 75 years. Now, that's not a marriage, that is a life sentence, in my opinion. Now, we're gonna be married 25 years the next month. I'm just here to tell you, I'm good for 25 more, not 50, okay? So if we go 50 more, I'm out. I'm just saying. If I'm this lady, there's a young guy sitting right here next to me. Yeah, there's not
I don't
you.
Think so.
No? What do I keep telling you?
What, your nephews or grandchildren or something?
What do I keep telling you I'm going to trade you in for what?
2
28-year-olds, yeah. Right? Because you're 56. And
to do the math.
Yeah, right. He's starting to fall apart a little bit. It needs a hip, needs a knee, needs new parts. That's where I'm out, okay? I'm out at that point, okay? You're like a junkyard, okay? I can't put up with this anymore. So I want 2 28-year-olds to take your place. And what do you always tell me?
You won't know what to do with them.
He needs to read my books. I don't think so. But hey, listen, Harvey and Irma, you are, you have my admiration, because anybody who can put up with another person for 75 years, God bless them. God bless them, right? So last week we went to West Texas, and this was the map I busted out a couple months ago. Dan is a map geek, all right? I'm known for not being so much into maps, okay?
Like it's upside down right now?
Yeah, it is upside, no it's not, it is not upside down. All right, so I pull this out and I say to him, all right, here's where I want to go. I can't even get this whole big badass map into one. All right, I tell him I want to go to El Paso, which is as far out in Texas as you can go and still be in the United States, Los Estados Unidos. And I wanted to drive all the way out to Marfa, over here.
On the first day?
On the first day, yeah. Yeah, on the first day. So I say to him, it's only about 8 inches on the map. And he's like, that's like 10 Rhode Islands, okay? And I'm like, but I think we can do it. So it was only 3 hours. We drove to Marfa. From there, we went to San Antonio, which is, I think you have to turn the page to get to see, yeah. San Antonio, which is over here. Then we went past Austin, which was our final destination. And Dan made sure to point out to me that we were driving past the place that we were actually going. And we went all the way up to Waco, which I have to say was probably the highlight of our trip because we saw friends that we hadn't seen in 23 years, which was really cool. Now, we had a baby shower. When we lived in Spain, we were first married, we had a baby shower for their first daughter, who we had dinner with last week with her and her husband. Okay, like talk about feeling old. Thanks a lot for that.
Coincidentally, also from Rhode Island.
Yes, he's from Rhode Island. And guess where she works? She works for Chip and Joanna Gaines at Magnolia. Okay, I found out she's a writer for Magnolia. I mean, literally, I almost had to like freak out on this kid because I'm like, you work for them, tell me all about them. And she told me.
Glad to see she's done something with her writing career.
No kidding, right? Yes. I offered to come in and do a writing consultation. We'll see if they take me up on it. I'd be a little scared to meet Chip and Joanna because I really feel like out of all my like people I know, famous people, I'm the most fangirly about them. Wouldn't you say? Yeah.
Is that another word for geek?
Yes, yes. See, so this is my fangirl mug. I'm a fangirl for Magnolia and all things Chip and Joanna, and now they're coming to Target. I'm so excited. They're coming to Target. They're bringing their line to Target. Oh. And husbands everywhere freaked out because they're going to be, the silos are coming to Target. I saw those babies coming off the exit on Interstate 35, and I almost drove off the road going into Waco because I'm like, there's a silos! And he's like, oh my God, take it down. But we did I enjoyed our visit to Magnolia. That's the bakery. This is the retail store. And this is me. I think I showed some restraint with only 2 bags coming out of there, most of which I purchased for my friends Chris and Sarah in Australia, who cannot yet buy from their online store because they're not doing international yet. But let me tell you, they're going to be very excited with the package I sent to them, aren't they? So talk to me about driving in West Texas. What was that like?
It was different than driving in New England, that's for sure. Around here, you can't use, cruise control is useless because you put it on and within a minute you're touching the brakes and the cruise control's going off.
Yeah.
Out in West Texas, on the interstate, on the county roads, on the state roads out there, there's just not a lot of traffic and it's vast openness out there. And I thought it was a beautiful change to the geography and the countryside that we're accustomed to up here in New England. It was just something new. I enjoyed it. But the posted speed limit on their roads out there is 80 miles an hour. I set the cruise control on 90 miles an hour. Probably would have been safe putting it at 100, but I put it on 90 miles an hour and just drove that way for 3 hours without touching the pedals. Didn't even have my feet on them.
He could have put his feet up on the dashboard, okay, and or taken a nap for that matter, because there was not another car out there. There was nothing but antelope and windmills and mesas and.
I was just telling David, our cameraman, that as I was driving along one day, I can't remember if it was the first or second day, suddenly passed a sign that said school bus stop ahead. And I looked around, and all you can see are the mesas and flat country out there. And for as far as the eye could see, I could not see a building. And I thought, who the hell are they stopping for out here? Why is a school bus this far out
the antelope
in the middle
children.
of nowhere?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. And like I said to him, like, because you know, in the Northeast, we're overpopulated, overcrowded, built out. We worry about running out of room for houses. We worry about running out of room for cemeteries and garbage. All of it can go to West Texas. All the houses, the cemeteries, the landfills, we got plenty of room, and we're not going to run out. Don't worry.
Not that we want to trash the beautiful countryside of Texas, but
not suggesting that. But
there's a lot of space out there.
The other thing we loved is a lot of windmills. There were windmills everywhere. There were windmills as far as the eye can see, and that's a very special thing to us. Dan's late sister was a big fan of windmills, and we felt like every time we saw her, one of them, that she was checking in with us. But you love when people crack on the state of Rhode Island and the size of Rhode Island. He's from Indiana originally, and is a 15-year plus 3 years away. So 18 years total you've lived in Rhode Island. And what do people always say about, what's the thing on the news that they always say? Like,
they compare oil slicks and forest fires to the size of the state of Rhode Island.
And every time it happens, he might have a drink in his mouth and he'll just be like, because it makes me so mad. I'm like, what's wrong with Delaware? Why don't they ever compare anything to Delaware? It's not that much bigger than Rhode Island. And no, every single time it's always like, oh, so smaller than the size of Rhode Island, an oil spill, a fire. It's like, come on. So what do people ask us in Texas? Are y'all neighbors up there? Do you have to have cars? Like, seriously? Like, we were like, yes, you have to have cars.
Can you walk everywhere?
Can you walk everywhere? Like, the people in Texas have no comprehension of just how small Rhode Island is, but they think it's this small when it's actually like, 1 million people. How many square miles would you say?
10 or 12.
That's it?
No, I'm just
Come
kidding.
on.
Block Island is 10 square miles. I don't know.
10 or like 100 square miles?
I don't know. David?
David, do you have anything on this? Feel free to pipe up. All right, we'll get back to you on that. But while we were in Marfa, Marfa was the scene of these two beauties, and I'm thinking I'm going to write a third one called Sex on a Stick. Don't tell Jake, my son, that though, because when he found out about the titles of these books, he had a little conversation with me about maybe I'm getting out of control. But Marfa was quiet, wasn't it? It was quiet. So we get to the Hotel Paisano, which is this beautiful National Register of Historic Places hotel where they filmed the movie Giant back in the 50s. So it was
I think 51.
Rock Hudson, Elizabeth Taylor, and James Dean, and there's pictures of them all over the hotel, and the hotel was really a jewel in the middle of this town where literally there was a Dairy Queen open. We also, just to be fair, we were there on a Monday, and we hear that on the weekends when they have art festivals and stuff, the town is booming. But we were there on a Monday, and it was a quiet day. And I remember we went into the Hotel Paisano. We were like, okay, we have to make sure there's food here because I have my needs. And not only was there food, there was great food, and there was. It was really a fun night at that hotel. It was like I felt like we were stepping back in time a little bit in that town. And then one town over in Alpine was this booming, almost metropolis compared to Marfa. But Marfa really did show me that I like to pick places that are isolated, that the characters in the books have to kind of like stick together. Yeah. So there's really nothing out there, and it's 3 hours from El Paso and 5 from San Antonio and 6 from Austin. So it's a haul. I mean, it's out there in the middle of nowhere. So the fact that like some of my characters are kind of like feel stuck there a little bit is definitely, you can see how that would be. Yeah. But I did get some more ideas for books out there while we were there. And then we, like I said, we went on to visit our friends at Magnolia, which was a real highlight of the trip. And while we're talking about HGTV, can we talk about these two guys? These are the Property Brothers. Okay, so Dan is not a big fan of HGTV. Not like I am. And every so often he will humor me and watch one of the shows with me. I think he would admit that he enjoys aspects of Fixer Upper.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. You crack up laughing at everything Chip says and does. You do too.
I don't even watch it.
You watch it sometimes with me. But
it makes me mad that they take a perfectly good house and destroy it sometimes.
Well, not always. But
sometimes the house looks fine.
But they often donate the stuff to Habitat for Humanity. They take out like old cabinets and countertops and they donate them. And anything that they can donate, especially the Property Brothers are really big on that too. So we're watching the Property Brothers one night and Dan says to me, do you want to say what you said to me? Or should I?
Are those two in a romantic relationship?
With each other.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
Okay. They're identical twins, Dan. Okay. They are not in a romantic relationship.
I didn't study their faces. I just
clearly. Like, I'm so sorry. still funny. That was like 2 months ago and it's still funny. Every time they're on, I think, oh my God. So, and then there's a mother-daughter show. I can't remember the name of it. He asked me about them too. Like, what's their deal? Are they together? I'm like, no, Dan, she's her mother. And so while we were on vacation, I also had this very special project that I was working on with Dan because he refuses to admit that he needs glasses like all the time now. So yeah, that, see? So, but the kids have noticed, our kids have noticed that it's not like that he squints. No, he takes it a step further. There's a pig face element to it. It's like this.
Yeah.
So we're trying to break him of that, but when I tell him make the face, he can't do it. So do it. Yeah, see, like he becomes a Shar-Pei. No, that's not it. It's a little piggier than that. So I challenge you, if you see Dan make the pig face on the air here while we're doing the show, please let me know and send me like a screen cap of it, because trust me, when you are looking at something like in a store, there's something and he's all, funniest thing. I'm like, just wear glasses. You're going to give yourself wrinkles. So he denies it. I say it's...
No, I don't deny it. I'm squinting so that I can see, because I can squint down to about 20/20.
Okay, because glasses are such an inconvenience in your life, right? So tell us the story about the time you had your glasses like this. What happened?
Geez. Well, it wasn't these glasses to begin with.
Ew, I touched them.
It wasn't this pair.
So,
I was traveling home out to India.
you were in Indiana, going home to Indiana, because this in Rhode Island, not home. The motherland in Indiana is home to him.
So, at my connecting, whatever airport I was at for my connecting flight, as I was walking from one gate to the other, I had to stop and use the restroom. So I had my glasses around, and they were kind of like this in that I usually keep my glasses around my neck like this, and the templates are a little tighter, so they'll stay there. But this pair that I was wearing at the time, the templates had become loose, and they were just barely staying on my neck. So I walked into the restroom, and I walked up to the urinal, and it was crowded in there. There were guys on, I said people. There were guys on both sides of me.
Guys
and as I walked up and began to do my business, the glasses slid off, hit my arm, bounced over, hit the gentleman next to me in his
penis.
And they bounced and landed on the other side of the floor. And he looked over at me and he said, "I can't help you right now." So
what'd you do?
I waited till we were both done, and I picked up the glasses and I washed them. They were only the only pair I had with me.
So you had to wash them. Speaking of washing things too, last weekend we were staying at a hotel in Austin, and I came back from, I was doing some business stuff in the morning with the romance writers there, and I come back and suddenly a spoon has appeared in our room. Where'd you get that spoon?
It was off of a
room
room service tray table that was out in the hallway.
In the hallway, okay? So he needed a spoon, so he went and got one from the tray. So when did I find out about this? When did I find out about this? When I was using the spoon to eat a cupcake that we had gotten at Magnolia.
But I had already used it.
But he tells me, I'm like this, he's like, oh, I got that off of a room service tray.
I washed it with soap.
I was like, ew! So you're a scavenger. So we're also celebrating this fall, we're celebrating, quote unquote, our first autumn in 22 years without a kid at home. So this is our empty nest that we're coming to you from here. Our oldest Emily lives in New York City. She graduated from college in May. One down, one to go. She was an acting major, so we'll see what she does with that. So here we are, just you and me. And Jake went to college. Yeah, we're thrilled, can't you tell? So,
Lots of thinking time.
Stop it! Stop! Shut up! Don't talk about that. So, we've got a couple of funny calls home from college, and I got to tell you this one funny story. So last week when we were in Texas, we were after Jake because all the colleges make you fill out a form. If you don't need their health insurance, you have to fill out this form, which we thought we did, right? We did it months ago.
We did do it,
but for whatever reason, it didn't take. Well, the one thing I assigned to him didn't take. So he's getting emails. The boy is getting emails that it's going to be $3,000 if we don't fill this form out and send it in by whatever date. It was a date that was pending.
Because, colleges can't correspond with the parents now because, those kids they're adults now.
Yeah,
so.
which we think is one of the funniest things in the history of funny. Who do they think is paying for this shit show, okay? So anyway, we tell the boy, fill out the form, you've got to do it, it's on your account, you got to do it. If you don't, it's going to be $3,000, and let me tell you what, I'm not paying that. So he's got a net worth of maybe $3,200. I said, it's going to be your $3,000 that goes to pay this if you miss that deadline. He says, Mom, I'm not paying 3 stacks for something I don't need. I said, then fill out the form, okay? So to young adults everywhere, if you want your parents off your ass, do what we're asking you to do and we'll leave you alone, okay? It's a beautiful thing. So he calls me up while we're in Waco. Mom, I got a problem. Still hasn't filled out the form, I might add. Do I put my gray clothes, doing laundry for the first time at college, do I put my gray clothes in with the colors or the whites? What would you suggest?
Now, I want to point out here that he has done laundry at home. Like, we've taught him, the basics of doing laundry.
He's done plenty of his own laundry. He irons. He took an iron and an ironing board to college with him. And his roommate's mom was extremely impressed by that because he likes to be ironed. And I got to give his hockey coach credit for that because they had to wear ironed clothes like sports shirt and tie to every hockey event. So
and his question was an intelligent question.
It was a good question. He also had questions on using the Tide Pods because in his defense, we do not use them at home. But we thought they'd be easier at college. So we have a whole conversation about grays and colors on speaker. We're all talking. And then he and I get into it about the GD form, okay? Have you done the form yet? Mom, I told you I would do it, blah, blah, the back and forth. So he gets a little huffy with me, which is very unusual. He and I don't do the huffy thing very much. And we hang up the phone. 5 minutes later, he calls me back. You got me so distracted by the conversation about the stupid form, I can't remember what I'm supposed to do with my gray clothes. I'm like, oh my God, Jake. So this kid, can we make up this kid? He's the same one who said when we're going through all his clothes before he leaves for college, Mom, I say to him, Jake, are these underwear clean or dirty? I don't know, smell them. Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that at all times.
Dallas, we have a problem.
Yeah, that was one of his other famous lines, Dallas, we have a problem. He says he did that on purpose, but we had to point out to him that Houston is where the problems are, not Dallas. So another Texas story right there. So the other really good thing that's happened since he went to college is Dan and I went to visit him right before, right before we went to Texas. Because we asked him, do you want to see us before we go or after? And he said, please come before because he needed some more clothes, blah, blah, blah.
It's only an hour
It's an hour for us, yeah. So,
because it's actually not even in this state.
Yeah, it's in Massachusetts, so an hour from us. So we get to the dorm and we text him and tell him, hey, we're on campus, come let us in. In the meantime, we walk up to the door and 2 other boys show up ahead of us and they let us in. So we follow them in. So they're going in, they take the right to go to Jake, and here's Jake coming to let us in. And these 2 boys meet up with him and they're all, hey, what's up, dude, And then one of them says to him, how you feeling this morning? We're like, what? And so then Jake goes, fine, I'm fine. And then he says, yeah, you guys, these are my parents. And the 2 kids are like, whoa, totally didn't see that coming.
Jake, why'd they asking you how you feel this morning? What went on last night?
Did you have a bellyache last night, honey? Do you have a sore throat, a headache? What's the matter? He's like, nothing, everything's fine. So suffice to say, I think Jake is enjoying college, which is really, really good. And it's all good. I mean, another thing that's really been helpful is he's got 2 cousins that go to school up there, and one's a junior, one's a senior, and they're girls. And I started calling them his college mothers, and then I started calling them the Smothers because I think they're going to be taking a little too good a care of him. But he's enjoyed having them there, I think.
Yeah.
He's already got a radio show. Did I tell you that?
No.
Excuse me. Oh, let's catch up here. So he's got a radio show starting Sunday at 4 p.m. It's
like he's going to be on the air.
He's going to be on the air. He says he's in training, but he's going to be on the air. He's going to be playing alternative music. It's not sports yet, which is his goal, but he has expressed an interest in sports.
Alternative music?
Alternative music, like alternative rock, not classic. No, like
from the
no, like
musicals.
No.
Music Man.
No, David, help me. Like REM. Is that alternative? What's alternative? Give me an example. Speak, you can speak.
An alternative to music?
Dave, you know music better than we do. So no, I mean, it's music that is alternative. Let's put it that way. So, but fortunately, it's not his music, because his music is more along the lines of rap and hip hop, which Dad and I are not all that big of a fan of. So many of you know that this week I released a new book. I think this is my 60th. It's either my 59th or my 60th. Is it 60? You counted? Oh my God.
And I've read them all.
And you've read them all. You have not.
What are you going to do for your 69th?
Oh, something really dirty. Speaking of that, I was thinking it would be kind of fun to do a little reading roulette and see if Mr. Forrest...
This is your Dan's Reading Roulette?
Dan's Reading Roulette. See if Mr. Forrest can read a little passage from Delirious. Dan has not read anything from the Quantum books yet. So I thought maybe this would be a good page for you to read right here.
Did you just open to it?
I did. It was a total roulette.
Where do you want me to start?
So
Can I blow my nose first?
No! You can't blow your nose
on your face right there.
Oh, thank you. You wanted us raw and uncut, right? Okay, so if it gets to be too much for you, you can use your safe word. What's your safe word?
I don't. Oh, Geronimo?
Yeah, that would be a good one.
That's
the one that we use with Dan's sister-in-law, because she likes to kiss the crap out of Jake. And her son said to Jake, whenever she gets to be too much for you, just yell Geronimo. So,
all right, where
start
am I
right here. Right here. I caress.
That's right. I caress her soft, supple backside, loving the tremble that rocks her body. Her responsiveness to my touch is such a huge turn on.
Your reading style is boring.
Well, I haven't read out loud. It's not like I'm reading to kindergartners either.
No, could you read like as if you're an audiobook narrator? Could you give it a little bit more? Let's see. All right. So tell me why you're being punished.
Tell me why you're being punished. Tell me why you're being punished.
No,
I'm sorry.
It's not an action-adventure scene.
There's not an exclamation point there, sorry. Tell me why you're being punished. Because I told Eileen about Kristen's kink.
Aileen and Christian.
Because I told Aileen and Christian.
No, about Christian. Oh, this is a disaster.
Because I told Aileen about Christian's kink. And why shouldn't you have done that? It's not my... Why is it...
She's got a little, she's a little scared of what's going to happen right now, so...
It's not my business. Exactly. I deliver the first 20 spanks to the lower...
The first of 20! The first of 20!
She cries out in surprise and then moans when I rub the spot, turning pain into desire.
Okay, I think that's enough. To work on your technique.
Let me try one more.
All right, okay. Let's see. Okay. Oh, no, that's not a good page.
I look up at him and nod, loving the way it feels to be even lightly dominated by him. I wonder what else might be possible when he really lets go. Talk to me. Tell me how it feels. Incredible. That's a good word. It's a good feeling.
Okay. Okay. Oh my God. You did a much better job than I expected. Dave's about to piss himself. Okay. So, what do people say? What do people say to you about what it's like to be married to a romance author? You get a lot of nudge,
stuff.
nudge, wink,
oh,
wink.
You're a lucky guy, explorer.
No, research.
Research.
Yeah, the
must
laboratory,
be great.
blah, blah, blah. People always have an opinion, don't they? What do you tell them that I save my best work for what? Right here, baby. The books. The characters have way better. Well, never mind. We won't get into that. That was really well done. I'm very impressed by your, audiobook skills, but I'm not going to hire you to narrate one of my books anytime soon.
Well, I'm not applying.
All right, good. So a couple new things I want to mention in the store if you haven't seen yet. We have a fangirl shirt. I should have brought one up to show you. We have super fangirl stickers. And if you really like the quantum books, we have the quantum vibrator, which is all the rage. I hear from readers that they are really loving that vibe. So check it out. Please
buy one. There's only 1,000 in our basement.
We're going to have a tough time explaining that to the insurance adjusters if we ever have a flood. So, all right. So we have a couple chances to get together coming up in the next month. I'm spitting. Los Angeles area on October 14th. We have registration information on my website at marieforce.com. In Calgary in November. The first weekend in November. Stop looking at me out of the side of your eyes. So you're coming with me to both of those events, so you get 2 for the price of 1. And then we've opened the registration for our 5th annual Reader Weekend, which I can't believe we're already at number 5. I mean, David has been with us through almost all of them, except for the first one. Yeah, except for the first one. And you can find that at marieforce.com/weekend. And I'm going to end our first episode here with a new feature I'd like to call random shit Marie finds on the internet. So I'm known throughout my group of family and friends because I love to share these treasures with them. Now, let me just add, when you have 5,000 friends on Facebook and most of them you don't know who they are, there is some good stuff in your feed, let me just say. So if you haven't seen from last week, and I'll post a link to this with the video when we put it up, but if you haven't seen the video of the Irish family trying to get the bat out of their kitchen from last week, I highly recommend that. That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. So my contribution for this week's finds...
Folk, it landed.
Folk.
Folk, it landed.
Folk, and the mother cowering in the pantry. It was so funny. All right, so this beauty is my... We've lost David. David's down. Now, Dan, I have to ask you, if I paid you $1 million, if I had $1 million just laying around to pay you, would you wear this out in public?
Like just
like that? Yeah,
like
just
that?
like that.
No.
No.
Would you?
For $1 million, okay?
Maybe.
Oh, David would. Okay, David would. David's in. Okay.
I mean, I would be spilling out the sides of it.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Please give me a break. I mean, oh yes, you would, stud. Husband stud of mine. Okay, so check out, this is my favorite part though. Check out the elastic supports under the buns.
It's like a jockstrap. Have you ever seen a jockstrap?
I don't know that I have.
That's like a jock.
Okay, now when I showed this to my friend Lisa, she was concerned that he needed a little manscaping. She thought that there was a little too much hair going on. What are your thoughts on manscaping? No. For or against?
If I don't do it.
Thanks for sharing. Now, what about, you like to
eyebrow only?
Oh my God, that's the best story. My cousin Jen goes to get an eyebrow wax, and the lady lays her out on the table and is looking at her. She's all making the face, looking at her.
Is that where she stole that from me?
No, and the lady goes, oh, eyebrow only? Jen's like, oh my God, I'll quit this place. So anyway, I think it's some quality knitting too. Like, I mean, there's a cable knit in there and everything. Like that's not just your average banana hammock.
Actually, that would be probably useful for winter bicycling.
And hockey.
And hockey.
Would you like me to get you one for Christmas and put it in your stocking?
I might try it on cycling. I mean, it gets, it gets cold in the winter when it gets down into the 30s.
I am so going to track down one of these for you, and you are going to model it for us, aren't you? Yes.
No, you'll just say you want to poke your eyes out or something.
Yeah, poke out the mind's eye, yes. All right, so if you find crazy random shit on the internet that you want me to use on one of these broadcasts that Dan and I are going to be doing somewhat regularly on YouTube, please send me your contributions to Marie at Marie Force. If I use yours, I will definitely credit you, and the crazier the better. So bring them on. I know I'm going to be bombed
inundated.
Bombed with stuff, which is awesome. So to my readers out there, I say thank you for reading, and to those of you that are new to me and to him, thank you for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Take care.
Bye.